guys, it's Joshua Reviews. Whoa. I think I need a minute to process this month. This December has been crazy. We've taken a look at some crazy movies so far, and this one's no exception. Santa Claus, get it? Yeah, you get it. Anyways, okay. So this is another Christmas slasher. It's from the 90s. This movie was written and directed by one of the writers for the original Night of the Living Dead and a few other movies that I have never seen in my life. This movie is pretty obscure, and if it wasn't thanks for Tubi, I wouldn't have been able to watch it. This was a gander. This was a gander of a movie. It basically opens with this kid catching his parents have sex, and or I'm sorry, it's not. He's watching some guy have sex with his mom. I guess his dad died or whatever, and he shoots both of them with a revolver that he found in the cabinet drawer. And we cut to years later, and we're following this scream queen porn star who wants to basically spend Christmas with her family. And we're following this guy, Wayne, who was the kid from the opening, and he's killing all the people in the studio that he believes in his mind are getting in the way of his relationship with the girl we're following. I forgot her name, but he's obsessed with this girl. He has like a shrine in his room. He has like a fake version of this girl, and he is obsessed with her. He like makes out with it. It's a little disturbing and kind of creepy, but within the first 10 minutes, I was like, okay, this is a weird way to open your movie. I'm really curious to see where this goes. And, oh man, it goes places. This movie goes places. Okay, I don't want to make it sound like this is like pushing the envelope in terms of slashers. But it goes into some weird places. Let's just put it that way. This movie's weird. This is a weird movie. Okay, so slashers is one of my favorite subgenres of horror, but here's the thing. 99% of them are trash. There's a handful that are legitimately good. Even some modern day slashers that there's some modern day slashers that I love. Hard Eyes was good. Thanksgiving was great. I like the new Halloween trilogy that David Gordon Green directed. Hell, I love Tucker and Dale versus Evil, even though that's more of a slasher comedy, but I still count it. But movies from the 80s and 90s, a lot of them are stinkers, mainly because they're more focused on nudity and kills and graphic. They try to push the envelope, not so much as because they think they can have an interesting story to tell with these kinds of ideas. It's more so just like, hey, what can we put on screen to attract the younger audience? Nudity, blood, yeah, we're gonna get ticket sales. And I don't like that. I don't like that. That's why a lot of these slashers from the 80s and 90s I don't really vibe with. But this one was weird. And it's one of the better ones I've seen, but it's a weird movie. Like, right off the gate, this movie is weird. Like I said, it opens with this little kid, Wayne, kills his mom and the guy that was sleeping with her. I think it's implied it was his uncle. I don't know if I'm correct on that, but I swear that's what's implied. Like I said, it's weird. Anyways, and that's kind of the only real, like, introduction we have to Wayne as a character, because he's the main character we follow, and he's also the killer of this movie. Yeah, you see this cover with the whole Santa and the skull? Not in the movie. In fact, he doesn't even use an axe. He uses a freaking, what's it called? It's a gardening tool with claws. That's why it's called Santa Claus. He uses it to claw his victims. And I knew right away that this movie was not going to have kills that like have practical effects. I mean, the kills in this are like probably some of the worst I've seen. They literally, it looks like they just got a sprayer and just sprayed blood on them. In the beginning when he shoots his mom and the guy, they literally just got red paint and just painted red holes on the face. It's like someone took a pencil, right, or a paintbrush, and when I say pencil, took a paintbrush and like that's it. Those are the kills for you. That is 99% of the kills in this movie. There's only a few that were decent, but if you're a slasher fan looking for graphic kills, don't watch this. This is going to be a bit disappointment for you. The acting is typical for your 90s slasher. None of the actors I feel like were really trying. I mean, there is a level of charm to it because it is kind of bad but kind of hokey, but there's also kind of a zaniness to it. I don't know. I don't really know how to describe it. But, I mean, the acting in this is not good, I can tell you that much, but it was kind of fun to sit back and laugh at. Something I did appreciate was I actually did like the attempt to kind of go more in depth with the killer and our characters. And there was actually a pretty good mystery throughout the film as to whether or not what we're seeing is actually happening for real or if it's just all in Wayne's mind because he's obsessed with this, you know, scream queen, porn star or whatever. Which you hear that and you're like, oh, so there's obviously a lot of nudity in this film. Absolutely. In fact, I'm pretty sure this movie has a lot of, I mean, I didn't do research at any of the cast, but I would not be surprised if one of these actors was like a porn star. I would not be surprised. I know I should do more research, and come next year, my style of reviews is going to change. I'm probably going to start scripting my videos a lot better. Just stay tuned for next year. But until then, you're dealing fun scripted reviews. It's fun. But I would not be surprised if one of these actors was a porn star, because, oh my gosh, there's a lot of nudity. This is probably the boobiest movie I've ever seen. There is so many boobs for no reason. There's a dramatic scene going on where the dad of the main character thinks that his children are in danger and he's trying to run out of the house, call for help. Meanwhile, it cuts and segues to the main actress dancing topless in front of a camera because she's doing like a film shoot. And I kept thinking, why is this playing during a dramatic moment? You think this would be played early on, or no, it adds nothing and it's just kind of there and you're just kind of left there scratching your head like, what? What's the point in this? There is so much nudity in this movie, guys, that I fast forward it. Not that I don't think, you know, women are beautiful or anything. I'm just saying that that's not what I want to see when it comes to a movie. I'm here for the story. I'm here for the concept and the Christmassy, which, thank God, this movie has the Christmas. It has the lights and has the snow, so I was appreciated that. But one aspect I was disappointed in, this movie teases you with the whole Santa killer, but he only really dresses up as Santa in the end. And it's a cool costume. I said concept. It's a cool costume. He spray paints the Santa costume black, and he has a black like ski mask. I was like, that's a cool design. I would like to see that, but it's only towards the end, and the ending is kind of anticlimactic. I will say, it had a definitive ending. Like, there's no cheap like, rah, you know, the killer is not dead really or whatever. I'm not gonna spoil it, but it's one of those where, like, you're led to believe into thinking that's what's going to happen, but it actually ends pretty decently. I was like, okay, that was a pretty decent ending. I like that. It does end very abrupt, but everything was wrapped up, so I don't really know if that makes sense. It ends abrupt, but everything was wrapped up. That abrupt as in where it ends is kind of abrupt. You're kind of like, oh, okay, that's where it ends, cool. But everything is wrapped up, if that makes sense. I was expecting like a cheap, like, haha, gotcha moment, but no, that doesn't happen, which I was kind of thankful for. This movie's not long. It's only an hour and 20 minutes. With credits, it's an hour and 23 minutes, but even then, I feel like it's a pretty short movie. Now, with every slasher from the 80s and 90s, it does have dull moments here and there. Where there's a lot of pacing issues. That's just what I'm used to when it comes to watching slashers from this era. A lot of slashers from that era have that same issue, but that's kind of the charm of it. I mean, here I am criticizing it, but if I'm being honest, some of my favorite movies are cheesy, so I can kind of forgive it. But where this movie shines, if it's not in the kills, if it's not in like the story, it's in how weird and wacky it is. This movie's the actors in this movie aren't that good, but they're, like I said, there's kind of a level of charm to it. There's passion being put into it, but not so much as making it believable as more in the delivery. There were so many dramatic moments and so many unintentionally funny moments that it made me surprisingly have a good time with this. Now, the one big issue I have with this movie is how much nudity is in it. Now, with that being said, right, again, don't get me wrong, I like seeing a beautiful lady, but if there's one thing I think was a big missed opportunity with this movie, and this is where I'm going to kind of touch on the subject matter of this movie, is that this movie kind of seems to promote, this type of industry, like the pornography industry, and I don't get behind that. I know this is kind of weird for me to mention, but I feel like I have to mention it because this movie has that heavily. It's heavily like shown in the movie that like, oh, we're in this industry, we're in the porn industry, and it's like, it's normal. It should not be normal. I'm sorry, I don't I don't like that. I know there are people who do this for a living, and am I okie dokie with it? No, because it's not a good industry. And the reason I mention this is because in the movie there is a plot point where the main character is a mom, and she got in the industry because of her husband, who also is a photographer for porn sets and movies. And during the movie, they show you why that's bad, because the wife is fearful that her husband is cheating on her, and he's over here cheating. And the movie just kind of portrays it like, it's okay. It's what they do. It's like, that should not be normalized. I don't like that. That's awful. I don't want to see a guy cheat on his husband. I was going somewhere and then I fucked it up. I don't like to see that portrayed in movies. They do kind of have a redeeming moment towards the end, but I also don't really like the fact that it kind of gets ignored a little bit. This movie's weird, man, but I felt like I kind of had to address that. I don't like seeing that in movies where it's like, they make this industry look like, oh, it's really just people having fun. It's like, no, it's not. That's Hollywood, folks. But besides all that, I had a fun time. It was wacky, and it reminded me a lot of Puppet Combo games. I love Puppet Combo, and if you like Christmas Massacre, then you are going to probably like this movie. I wish it could have handled its subject matter a little bit better, and I wish there was more explanation, and I wish it had some better acting, but that's kind of the charm to it, and overall it was a solid, fun time. Yeah. I wasn't bored. I'm going to give it a C. I don't know where I was going at that. Hopefully that wasn't too awkward. Try not to make it awkward, but, this is why I need to script my videos. Anyways, guys, I'll see you guys next time. Next review is going to be an interesting one. Take a shot every time I've said that before.